Good morning, my friends. There is a simple but powerful truth about success, and it applies to every man and woman who has ever accomplished anything worthwhile. That truth is this: everything begins with a single step. Most people wait for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect conditions before they start. But the truth is, those conditions never come. The only way forward is to push yourself, right now, to take the first step. The mind is the most powerful tool we possess, yet most people never learn how to use it to their advantage. Every great achievement, every success, and every breakthrough in human history began as a single thought in someone's mind. What we think about, we become. This is not just philosophy, it is a fundamental truth about the way our lives unfold. Think about the people who consistently achieve their goals. They are not necessarily the most talented, the most fortunate, or the most educated. What sets them apart is their ability to direct their thoughts towards success. They hold a clear vision of where they want to go, and they refuse to entertain thoughts of failure or doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle isn't luck, it's the way they think. Most people allow their thoughts to be dictated by their surroundings. They absorb negativity from the news, from social media, and from those around them who have settled for mediocrity. When you fill your mind with fear, worry, and doubt, those thoughts shape your reality. You begin to see problems instead of opportunities. You hesitate instead of acting. You convince yourself that now isn't the right time, that you're not ready, that you don't have what it takes, and as a result, nothing changes. But the opposite is also true. If you take control of your thoughts and deliberately focus on success, solutions, and possibilities, your life will move in a different direction. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant weeds, doubt, fear, and negativity, they will take over. But if you plant seeds of confidence, purpose, and determination, those will flourish instead. History is filled with examples of people who used the power of thought to transform their lives. Consider Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. A lesser mind would have given up after the first few failures, but Edison's thoughts were not centered on failure. He saw each attempt as a step forward. He believed he was getting closer, not further, and that belief shaped his actions until he eventually succeeded. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." This is one of the most profound statements ever made about the power of thought. If you believe you are capable, you will act accordingly. If you believe you will fail, you won't even try. Your thoughts set the boundaries for your potential. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing you think about? Do you immediately focus on problems, stress, and limitations, or do you begin your day with thoughts of possibility, progress, and purpose? The answer to this question determines everything about the direction of your life. If you want to change your results, you must first change your thoughts. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that problems don't exist. It means choosing to focus on solutions rather than obstacles. It means believing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to adapt, learn, and keep moving forward. The most successful people in the world are not free from challenges, but they approach those challenges with a different mindset. Where others see barriers, they see stepping stones. Where others see risk, they see opportunity. And because their thoughts are focused on growth and progress, their actions align with that mindset. So if you want to transform your life, start by transforming your thinking. Feed your mind with positive, empowering ideas. Surround yourself with people who inspire and uplift you. Read books, listen to powerful messages, and remind yourself daily that you are capable of achieving great things. Your thoughts shape your future, and the future belongs to those who take control of their minds. Many people remain stuck in life not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they hesitate to take action. They wait for perfect conditions, for a flawless plan, for absolute certainty before moving forward. But the truth is, clarity does not come from excessive thinking, it comes from action. Overthinking is one of the greatest obstacles to progress. When we overanalyze every detail, considering all the ways things could go wrong, we create mental roadblocks that prevent us from taking the first step. We convince ourselves that we need more time, more knowledge, or more confidence before we begin. But this is an illusion. No matter how much we think, we will never eliminate all uncertainty. The reality is, action brings clarity in a way that thinking never can. When you take a step forward, even if you are unsure, you gain real experience. You begin to see what works and what doesn't. You adjust, learn, and refine your approach. Without action, all you have are theories, possibilities, and assumptions. But once you start moving, you replace uncertainty with knowledge. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. You could spend weeks reading books on balance, studying physics, and analyzing the mechanics of cycling, but no amount of thinking will prepare you for the actual experience of getting on the bike and riding. It is only through action, through trial and error, through feeling the movement and adjusting your balance that you truly learn. Life works the same way. Some of the most successful people in history did not have everything figured out when they started. They took action, made mistakes, and adapted along the way. Entrepreneurs launch businesses without knowing every detail of how they will succeed. Writers begin books without knowing exactly how they will end. Innovators take risks without guarantees. They all understand a simple truth. Waiting for perfect clarity means waiting forever. Fear is often disguised as overthinking. We tell ourselves we are being cautious, responsible, or strategic, but in reality, we are afraid of making the wrong choice. We fear failure, criticism, or uncertainty, so we stay in a cycle of analysis paralysis. But the longer we delay, the harder it becomes to start. Fear grows stronger in inaction. The only way to break free is to move forward despite the uncertainty. Many people believe they need confidence before they can act, but confidence is not something you acquire by thinking. It is something you develop through action. The first time you do something new, you may feel unsure, but as you take steps forward, your confidence grows. Each small success builds momentum, and soon, what once felt impossible becomes second nature. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life come not from careful planning, but from bold action. A single step forward can open doors you never knew existed. A conversation with the right person, an unexpected opportunity, or a lesson learned through experience can change your entire trajectory. But none of these things happen if you remain stuck in hesitation. The best way to gain clarity is to start. If you are unsure about a career path, take an internship, start a side project, or talk to people in the field. If you are considering starting a business, take the first step. Test your idea, make a small investment, or launch a prototype. If you want to write a book, start writing. The answers you seek will not come from more thinking, they will come from doing. Every journey begins with uncertainty. No one has all the answers at the beginning, but the act of moving forward brings new insights, new opportunities, and new understanding. The more you act, the clearer your path becomes. So stop waiting, stop overthinking. The only way to find the right path is to start walking. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that holds people back from achieving their dreams. It keeps them stuck in place, convincing them that they are not ready, that failure is inevitable, or that they simply do not have what it takes. But the truth is, fear is not real in the way most people believe. It is not a physical barrier, nor is it an unavoidable reality. Fear exists only in the imagination. Think about it. How many times in your life have you feared something that never actually happened? Perhaps you worried about failing a test, losing a job, or embarrassing yourself in front of others. But when the moment arrived, you handled it. Maybe it was difficult, maybe there were challenges, but it was never as terrifying as your mind had made it seem. Fear is the mind's way of protecting us from danger. But in today's world, most of our fears are not life-threatening. They are imagined scenarios, worst-case possibilities that may never come true. Your mind creates stories, exaggerates risks, and convinces you that disaster is waiting around every corner. But when you look at reality, you realize that most of these fears are unfounded. Consider public speaking. It is one of the most common fears people have. The mere thought of standing in front of an audience can send waves of anxiety through the body. But why? What is the real danger? There is no physical harm, no real threat to survival. The fear is entirely mental. It is based on the idea of judgment, of looking foolish, of making mistakes. But if you take a step back, you realize that even if you stumble over your words, even if you make a mistake, life goes on. The fear existed only in your mind, not in reality. The same is true for every fear that holds people back from pursuing their goals. Fear of failure stops people from starting businesses, changing careers, or following their passions. Fear of rejection prevents them from forming relationships, networking, or taking risks. But in reality, failure is just a lesson, rejection is just a moment, and mistakes are simply steps toward growth. None of these things are as catastrophic as the mind makes them seem. Think about children. When they are learning to walk, they do not fear falling. They simply try, fall, get up, and try again. There is no hesitation, no overthinking, no dwelling on failure. But as people grow older, they begin to develop fears. Fears that are learned, not natural. They are told to be careful, to avoid risks, to stay within their comfort zones. Over time, they become prisoners of their own thoughts, letting fear dictate their decisions. But those who achieve greatness understand something different. They know that fear is an illusion, and they refuse to let it control them. Every successful person has faced fear, but they pushed forward anyway. They understood that fear loses its power the moment you act. Once you take the first step, you realize that the monster in your mind was never real to begin with. The best way to overcome fear is through action. If you fear public speaking, speak. If you fear failure, take a small step toward your goal. If you fear rejection, put yourself in situations where you face it, and realize that it does not define you. Every time you confront fear, it weakens. Every time you take action despite fear, you become stronger. The mind is a powerful tool, but it can work for you or against you. If you allow fear to control your thoughts, it will control your life. But if you recognize fear for what it is, an illusion, you can break free. You can take risks. chase your dreams, and live fully without being held back by imaginary barriers. The next time fear tries to stop you, ask yourself, is this fear real? Or is it just my mind creating a story? More often than not, you will find that the only thing standing in your way is an illusion, and the moment you stop believing in it, you will be free to move forward. Success is often thought of as a grand event, a moment when everything falls into place and a person suddenly reaches their goal. But in reality, success is not the result of one big action. It is the accumulation of small, consistent steps taken over time. No great achievement happens overnight. Every great success story, every personal transformation, and every life-changing accomplishment begins with small, simple actions that compound into something greater. The mistake many people make is believing they have to make massive changes all at once. They think they need to completely overhaul their lives, have the perfect plan, or achieve instant results. But this way of thinking only leads to frustration and inaction. When a goal feels too big, too overwhelming, people hesitate to start. They tell themselves they will begin when they have more time, more resources, or more motivation. And so they remain stuck, waiting for a perfect moment that never comes. But the truth is, success is built on small daily actions. If you want to be healthier, you do not need to change everything overnight. You start by drinking more water, taking a short walk, or making one better food choice at a time. If you want to write a book, you do not need to finish it in a week. You start by writing 1 page a day. If you want to build a business, you do not need to quit your job immediately. You start by working on it for an hour each evening. Small steps may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they add up. Imagine a person who improves by just 1% each day. That improvement may not be noticeable at first, but after a year they will be 37 times better than when they started. This is the power of small, consistent actions. They compound, creating momentum that leads to extraordinary results. Consider the story of the Grand Canyon. It was not created by a single event, but by the persistent flow of the Colorado River over millions of years. The river did not carve the canyon in a day, but its small, consistent movement shaped one of the greatest natural wonders on Earth. The same principle applies to human progress. Small actions, repeated over time, create incredible change. One of the biggest challenges people face is impatience. They want to see results immediately. When they do not, they feel discouraged and give up. But success requires patience and trust in the process. A seed does not grow into a tree overnight. It must be planted, watered, and nurtured before it can flourish. The same is true for any goal. Small efforts may not seem to make a difference at first, but over time they transform into something remarkable. This principle applies to every area of life. In relationships, small acts of kindness, gratitude, and communication build deep and meaningful connections. In careers, small improvements in skills, work ethic, and learning lead to promotions and opportunity. In finances, small savings and smart investments grow into wealth over time. The key is to start and to stay consistent. Too many people give up because they do not see immediate progress. But success is not about giant leaps. It is about persistence. It is about showing up, doing the work, and trusting that the small steps you take today will lead to big results in the future. The most important thing you can do is take that first step. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be big. It just has to be something. And once you take that step, take another. Keep moving forward, even if the progress feels slow, because one day you will look back and realize that every small step you took led to something greater than you ever imagined. Failure is often misunderstood. Most people see it as a sign that they are not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough. They view failure as the opposite of success, something to be avoided at all costs. But in reality, failure is not the enemy of success, it is part of it. Every successful person, every great innovator, every leader who has ever accomplished something meaningful has experienced failure. The difference is they did not let failure stop them. Instead, they used it as a stepping stone to success. Think about any great achievement in history. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset is the key to success. Edison understood that failure was not a dead end. It was feedback. Each failure brought him closer to success by teaching him what did not work. The same is true for every person who has achieved something great. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. That failure did not stop him, it fueled him. He used it as motivation to work harder, to improve, and to push himself beyond his limit. Years later, he would say, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." The problem is not failure itself, it is how we respond to it. Most people fear failure so much that they never even try. They let the possibility of failure keep them from taking risks. from pursuing their dreams, from stepping outside of their comfort zones. But failure is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. Every failure contains a lesson. It teaches us what works and what doesn't. It helps us grow, improve, and become stronger. Imagine a child learning to walk. They do not succeed on their first attempt. They fall again and again. They do not see falling as failure. They do not say, "I guess walking isn't for me." They get up and try again, learning from each attempt until they master the skill. That is how success is built, not by avoiding failure, but by pushing through it. One of the greatest dangers of fearing failure is that it leads to inaction. People who are afraid to fail never take risks, never try new things, never push themselves beyond what is comfortable, and as a result, they never grow, they never reach their full potential. The greatest regret people have at the end of their lives is not the failures they experienced, it is the chances they never took. The truth is, failure is never final unless you quit. Many of the world's most successful people failed multiple times before they achieved success. Oprah Winfrey was told she was not fit for television. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. None of them let failure define them. They kept going, they learned, they adapted, and because of that, they succeeded. The path to success is never a straight line. It is filled with ups and downs, victories and setbacks, progress and failure, but every failure is a lesson, and every lesson brings you closer to success. The only real failure is giving up. So the next time you fail, do not see it as a sign to stop. See it as proof that you are moving forward, that you are learning, that you are growing. Every failure brings you one step closer to success, as long as you refuse to quit. Indecision is one of the greatest obstacles to success. Many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for more confidence, waiting until they feel ready. But the truth is, success does not come to those who wait, it comes to those who decide and act. Every great achievement in history started with a decision, a moment when someone chose to take action, even if they were uncertain, even if they were afraid. The problem with hesitation is that it leads to inaction. When you overthink, you allow doubts to creep in. You start questioning yourself. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I make the wrong choice? These thoughts create fear, and fear leads to paralysis. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, years have passed, and nothing has changed. But those who succeed operate differently. They understand that action creates momentum, and momentum leads to success. They do not wait for the perfect conditions because they know that perfection is an illusion. They make decisions quickly and adjust along the way. Instead of getting stuck in endless thinking, they take the first step and learn as they go. Think about some of the most successful people in history. Henry Ford revolutionized the automobile industry not because he had all the answers, but because he decided to move forward. He once said, "Indecision is often worse than the wrong decision." Why? Because when you make a decision and take action, you gain experience. You learn what works and what doesn't. But when you do nothing, you stay exactly where you are. Many people fear making the wrong choice, but the truth is, no decision is final. You can always adjust, adapt, and correct your course. In fact, the most successful people are not those who never make mistakes. They are those who learn from their mistakes and keep going. Every wrong decision brings valuable lessons. Every action taken leads to new insights. Consider the story of Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. When he first started the company, he had no guarantee of success. He left a secure job, took a risk, and made a decision. Along the way, he made mistakes. There were failures, setbacks, and challenges. But because he acted, because he was willing to make decisions and adjust, Amazon became one of the most successful companies in the world. Now think about your own life. How many times have you delayed taking action because you were uncertain? How many opportunities have passed you by because you were waiting for the right moment? The truth is, the right moment never comes. The best time to start is now. The key to success is simple: decide and act. If you want to get in shape, start today. Do not wait for Monday. Do not wait until you feel motivated. Take the first small step. If you want to start a business, do something now. Research, create a plan, take action. If you want to improve your life, stop thinking about it and start doing something about it. Action breeds confidence. The more you act, the more you believe in yourself. The more steps you take, the clearer your path becomes. The most successful people do not have all the answers when they start, but they start anyway. And as they move forward, they learn, they grow, and they adjust. So stop waiting, stop overthinking, stop letting fear control your life. Make a decision, take action, and trust that you will figure it out along the way. Because the only way to guarantee failure is to do nothing. But the moment you decide and take action, you put yourself on the path to success.